I'm Victoria Eunice.
And I'm Heather Epscombe.
And our school is Hampton Charter School of Science.
And we're in 7th grade.
And our project is
Think Again. Now, our project titles this because we're trying to make you think again about what you're eating, because we tried to figure out how much grease is in each type of French fry to see which is the healthiest, because when you think about it, many people eat French fries all the time, and they don't know how much grease they're consuming, and grease is not healthy at all.
Now is our problem. In this project, we are attempting to find out two things. Our first situation is which French fry has the most grease. Our second situation is does grease make food taste better?
And we had two hypotheses because we had two questions that we were trying to find out. Our first hypothesis was that grease did make food taste better, and our second hypothesis was that McDonald's was going to have the most grease.
Now is our materials for our project. We need grid paper, McDonald's French fries, Burger King's French fries, Wendy's French fries, 10 people to serve it, and containers.
Our procedure. So first we surveyed or asked 10 people which French fry they liked best, and we recorded what they liked best. Then we set up the French fries in a container. We put the grid paper down the container. Then we put the French fries each on top of their own type of grid paper, or not type, but type of their grid paper, their own. And then we waited 4 days, and we recorded all the squares that were filled on the grid paper with grease. And then after that, we compared our two data tables to find out our second, if our second hypothesis was.
Now is our first data table. On the left in our data table is the students we surveyed, teachers, and my parents. And every single person picked their own restaurant.
And this second data table is basically explains in the beginning, this is what the French fries looked like on each their own grid papers. And then after 4 days, you can see the grease that was left on the grid paper, and we counted how many grease-filled squares there were, and for each restaurant. And for Wendy's, it was 291. Burger King, it was 492, and McDonald's had 444.
Now is our results. We looked over the data and realized that Burger King had the most grease. And we also realized that grease does make French fries taste better.
In conclusion, our first hypothesis was not correct, but that's part of being a scientist. Sometimes you're wrong. And Burger King had the most grease, while we thought it was going to be McDonald's. And our second hypothesis was correct, though, because grease does make food taste better. Because as you can see, the most liked French fry, which was Burger King, had the most grease. The second most liked French fry was McDonald's, and it had the second most amount of grease. And the one that was liked the least had the least amount of grease.
Now is our fun facts about grease. Grease could clog up your arteries, which could kill you.
It's full of cholesterol, and having a lot of cholesterol can shorten your life.
Grease could cause acne, because when you eat French fries, grease comes on your hands, you touch your face, and then pimples come on your face.
And most people don't like to have that on their face, and so grease does not help at all with that. And sometimes, a fun fact about grease is that sometimes it gets poured into our waterways, so sometimes you could actually be drinking grease if the filters don't go through right, and that's a little disgusting also.
And that's our project.